Round of applause for everybody. Yay!
That's the closing ceremonies. Goodbye.
I mean, it was pretty epic. That works. Let's go.
What time is it?
Midnight.
7:01.
Oh my God! Ruben, can you run back here? Come here.
Oh, it's
Who got any sleep this weekend?
Not me.
Not me.
Sleep is for the week.
What is sleep?
And not see a beach for the weekend, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna run. You're gonna die.
We're gonna stall. Up to it, Ruben. None of your business. You're the peppy one right now. You're so peppy. How are you so peppy?
How are you not after Bohemian Rhapsody?
Mr. Newman,
Shonda,
very, very accurate question. Why are you not?
No.
I'm barely awake. I'm barely here.
Do it.
I'm happy, but I'm barely here. I said peppy, not happy.
1% battery.
Oh God.
Make it. I'm gonna make it last.
It ain't gonna last.
It might.
All right, so welcome to the closing ceremonies for 2018 Animals First Summit, or Season 1.
I said that as my phone died.
I think so.
Can you send me these
So
videos?
speaking of renewals, let's look at our ratings for this season.
I'll have to do it when I get home.
You know, I just thought of that. I probably should have put that on the slide.
Do it.
So so next year I want to put ratings on there. Our attendance. So last year we did our Emerald FurCon experiment, which was just a one-day event. We had
yes.
what? The pilot episode, right? Which was picked up for one season. The total attendees was 126 that year. So
Drum roll, please.
we had
136 free red.
yeah.
That's a lot of people.
99 at the door.
Can you do the math?
235 total.
So we did talk to the network, and because of the ratings increase and the increase in ad revenue, blah 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 blah, we got approved for season 2. And this is not going to be a direct-to-DVD season. This is going to be a season that's going to broadcast on EFS Network. Prime time. Totally make-believe, totally real. Who knows?
We've been on TV.
Speaking of which, oh, where did that come from?
You're welcome.
So this is going to be a thing that we do every year for every season. The banner, like if you've seen our Twitter banner, it's got all the characters of season 1. It's got the dumb chairman guy. It's got Stormy the Wolf.
What's a stormy?
A potato.
Ah, I've heard of them. I know who you.
Potatoes.
Yes, I'm taking a little hard. You have to help me out here.
We love potatoes.
So all the characters are on the banner.
Same.
I can't interrupt Stormy. I'll wait till he's done. Okay. All right, so basically we had a contest, or a giveaway, I guess you can call it. You basically, when you pre-registered, you had the option to check a little box that would enter you in this giveaway. We only had 50 of them, so the first 50 that clicked the box were the ones that got it. For those 50 that did, when they came to register here at the physical convention, they were given this nifty little box, DVD. It was like a fake DVD box with a fake, really cringy story on the back of it that I wrote, "It's my fault."
Really great.
And then a fake little paper ticket that's shaped like a DVD that I also made, and I had to hand cut those, and they're terrible, but I thought it would be funny. So anyone that got one of those, their name went into this little bitty cup here. So we are going to pull a name out of the cup, and whoever's name was pulled out of the cup is going to have their character featured on the season 2 banner that goes up on Twitter.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So there'll be a new character added for the season, and they'll be written into the story on the back of the box set.
Cringy story.
Oh no.
That'd be
A
pretty
new
cool.
Oh God.
Cringy story.
Wonder who it's going to be.
Ooh. Well.
Well, I was wondering if Stormy might be interested in being the one to pick the name. No pressure or anything.
Do it.
I didn't tell you ahead of time.
I will do it. I will do it. I'll
Do it
do
for the ad revenue.
I hope we do this.
No.
Stormy wins.
I mean, 105 Black Stratus.
Black Stratus. That's funny.
Can we get
Is he here?
No.
Yeah, that's not a good.
He's going on.
Yeah, he's already home.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's gone home.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, well, there we have our winner for the first one.
No, it's moot just because he's not here. So you couldn't stick for the whole con.
Is
so
it
you
moot
just-
or is it mute?
He's mute
I don't
now.
like you.
I know, I don't me either. So as we go through these each year, you'll start to see kind of like how it pieces together, and we're going to be weaving in more like TV season-esque stuff into the promos each year to try and make it kind of fresh and interesting, and it's just kind of the flavor that we're going to do things in. It's kind of weird, it's kind of different, but so are we. So we're ready for weird and different. So some feedback on 2018. I just wanted to take a moment to talk about some of the outstanding people in this room and people who are not in this room who made the convention actually happen. But before I do that, I want to say I'm sorry to every single person in this room that tried to talk to me, and I was just like, I'll be right there, just give me just a second. And then I got stuck on something else. I apologize.
This con chair cherry has been popped.
Why?
Could you say the con cherry?
No.
We're not giving you months today, man.
I apologize. I keep getting pulled in multiple directions. I really intend to come back. Sometimes I would. Sometimes I would just be. I tried my best. There were so many things going on, and I apologize if I wasn't able to get back with you. So I'm going to give it to each one of the department heads and have you talk about who kind of stood out in your mind this season.
Is that a ringtone? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you just? Oh, you have one. That's right. I knew that already. It's fine. Go.
My ring's right
There was nobody in mine except for me. So, good job, me. I don't say my dealers, of course, because I wouldn't even be doing anything if they weren't there. So they were all fantastic, though. They had great displays, and they took care of their own stuff. They set up all their own stuff, everything. So donated stuff. Thank you for donating art, guys. That was fantastic, and art of all kinds. Like we had an LED hoodie too from Rising Sun Accessories. That's great. Golden Druid, Miss Cosplay. Who else am I missing?
Art accusations.
Art Accusations, yes. I believe that was everyone.
And your sister.
Oh, no, we don't care about the sister. She had any shots. Lafira was the other one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so that's it for me. Just thank you, dealers. Round of applause for all the dealers, please. Brad's turn. Oh no.
I liked him. Sorry.
You need 2 mics.
Mine's better. Seemed like the same thing.
So I was registration, and I had.
How did you feel about the registration? Was it pretty quick?
That was very quick.
That was this guy and his team. They worked really hard with very little technology to make it happen.
We love you, Brad.
We had a black gaming laptop and a broken iPad.
That's all good. It worked.
I made it work. So like the best volunteers I had, or just we're gonna say that.
Just anybody that stood out in your mind, or
Thomas over there worked heckin' hours.
Make him stand up. Stand up.
Stand up. And Joseph over there, who's still working right now. They made it possible. Like I couldn't have done it.
Are you sure? Do you want to stand up?
Yes.
Stand up, Brad.
Should Brad stand up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you stand up? Take a bow. Come on, do it.
We love you, Brad.
Okay, Shonda, I'm gonna pass it to you and try to make it not musical.
No puns. No puns.
It's not in the budget. Sorry.
Just because you said that, that's exactly what you're getting now.
Come on.
Okay.
No.
Kevin made me make a list, so I made a list.
Aw.
Well, for those of you that don't know, I was head of programming, which means all the panels I put together the panel schedule and took their applications and stuff. Real quick, are any of my panelists still here? Raise your hand. Yay!
Still here.
I want to say thank you to all of you that that submitted your applications. I know there are a couple of you out there that I approached personally because it was getting towards the end of pre-registration and I only had 5 applications. And I was starting to panic. I was like, hey, Simon, hey, Twitchy, would you be interested in hosting a panel? I'm borderline begging now. But absolutely, hold on, I got this. All of my panelists did fantastic. In fact, the vast majority of my panelists, this was their first panel that they ever hosted, and you never would have guessed it because they were such naturals. They looked so comfortable in front of everybody. They really knocked it out of the park. And I could not have asked for a better panel schedule. Everyone had a great time. All the audiences. There were a couple of them where we literally had to close the room because the room met capacity, and it was just amazing. So thank you all so much for being so well to work with, so great, and I hope that y'all come back next year and apply to do another panel because I would absolutely love to put you on the schedule again. Let's see.
Would Gray or Landon?
Huh? Oh, yeah, funny, very funny. They're actually going to be solar panels. I'm trying to conserve the environment. So, as I'm sure a lot of you saw me running around the convention like a chicken with my head cut off. I know I wear my panic out on my sleeve, so, but you all were so kind to calm me down, and I heard so many people say that this was the best convention they've been to, comparing it to a lot of big conventions, and that really warms my heart because it makes everything that we've put together so worthwhile, and it helped me kind of compose myself and not fall to pieces. Am I taking too long?
No, it's just they wanted the music.
Oh.
Music I'm not hearing. You said you're gonna do.
Oh. That's all you got. Oh God.
I thought that.
All of my panelists were fabulous. Okay. And even more the hello. Who's there?
Hello?
Even the hotel staff that are especially supportive. I think one of the biggest compliments that I've received was from the hotel staff saying that we are the most well-behaved group they've ever had. Even comparing to... Don't laugh! They're comparing us to senior reunions and stuff, and they're y'all are amazing.
If I could add to that, so apparently a lot of those other events that happen here require a lot of management by the hotel, intervention by the hotel, and we were they called us very self-contained. So we resolved our own issues, we handled all of our problems, we took care of, because of our wonderful volunteers, changing the rooms up, back and forth, and they had never really experienced that before. So it was nice to hear that we're developing a good relationship with the venue and making a good impression. So,
give yourselves a round of applause. Before I keep going too long, I want to also thank you to all of our volunteers that helped me set up and break down all the room in between the panels. A lot of them, were there at a moment's notice. They worked so hard. They're always there to lend a hand, and thank you so much. But it made everything so smooth. It really helped me, panic less. So thank you all so much, and thank you to all my panelists for actually being there. Because one of my biggest fears was someone would just up and not show up, and then I'd be standing there like a lost sheep. What do I do now?
Make your own panel.
Make my own panel. This is mine now.
Make your own panel. So you make it as meta as possible.
Yeah. How to do a panel.
Super.
How to do
Panelception. Okay, I'm rambling. I'm gonna pass it on now.
So, Stormy, how is stuff in your department?
I'm so dumb.
I should be good at public speaking at this point, considering our YouTube channel. How many of you would say this is one of the best conventions you've ever attended in your life? I've been to several conventions, both anime and furry related at this point, and if there's one thing I've learned over this weekend, this is definitely one of the best furry conventions I've ever been to. It's just amazing how nice and welcoming everyone is. It feels, I would say less like a convention and more like a big sleepover, you know? Something like that. You know, like a little slumber party.
Emerald's Furry Sleepover. EFS, new acronym.
A summer party with rules and regulations.
How many of y'all this was your first convention? Yay, there we go.
But yeah, words are not coming to my head. It has been an honor, to say the least, to be the guest of honor for anything, because I don't know what to say. It's just amazing how welcoming and polite everyone has been to me, even when I get lost and confused and I don't know where the bathroom is, for instance. I had a nice speech prepared in my head and it went somewhere else. You probably took it from me.
Do you want to know why I think that you are a fantastic guest of honor for us? I was never really an avid watcher of like furry YouTubers. When I saw some of your content, I found that it was very genuine, and I found that you focus a lot on education and trying to help people understand how the fandom, the realities of the fandom, you're kind of. It's almost like you're trying to be an ambassador to people who aren't from the fandom in some ways, because you can show someone one of your videos and it pretty easily bridges the gap, I think. And in my mind, that's kind of a public service, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
I'm speechless after you said that it's kind of like a public service. I would say like the inspiration behind my content. When I first started, I didn't know what I wanted to do as far as furry YouTubing went. I didn't know if I wanted to do like reviews. I didn't know if I wanted to rant and complain about everything. I already do that enough outside of YouTube. One thing I started to notice as I learned more about the furry fandom and the furry YouTuber community is there's not like a surplus of educational content. I know Bakari does a little bit. Ace of Hearts Fox does that, and there are a few other channels that focus on educating the community, but I mean, not as many as you might think. And I'm trying to fill in this void where a lot of subjects are being overlooked, like how do you afford a fursuit? Like questions I get questions like that a lot from younger furries, and I try to help them understand the economics and basics of what it takes to obtain a fursuit, for instance. But yeah, I would say Bakari is one of my biggest inspirations, and if anybody remembers Bill Nye when they were a kid.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I like to think.
Everyone get out of the system. Bill
the science guy.
Bill.
Science, bro.
But yeah, he's another inspiration of mine. I like the way he presents things. He tries to throw in a joke here and there, but at the same time, he manages to be very educational and very entertaining. That was like my favorite part of science class, when they brought out the TV, and we got to watch some Bill Nye.
That was my favorite too, man. Big old rolling TV.
On VHS.
Yup, VHS. We don't have that anymore.
Nice.
Ooh.
But yeah, I guess I'm just gonna pass it over to.
I'm not done. I still have one more thing I want to say about you.
Oh.
You mentioned a lot of younger furries watch you, and I think that especially YouTubers, in particular furry YouTubers, younger furries watching them, they're very impressionable, and what they see on the channel is going to set the tone for what's normalized behavior, what's normalized things you can say, and things that are appropriate to say, and I get speaking more to your intentions, and I think that's more people like you being out there. I think it's a positive impact on the next generation of furries, and again, I don't want to, keep saying this, but I really think that's a public service, and I don't think that should be minimized at all. So thank you so much for everything you do for the community.
I really appreciate it.
I also want to say one more thing to Stormy. For those of you that were there, Stormy and I hosted the panel together, and it was both of our first panels. And I could not have asked for a better panel partner because I was super nervous, and but you were super simple to work with, and you made everything really flow easily and help calm myself down, and it really had a great turnout. I'm really sorry that I put you in the chair where you couldn't see the screen. Literally, like, it was, he was sitting here, I was here, and the screen was here, parallel to us. And I ended up having to take my phone, taking a picture this way, and then handing it to him so he could read it.
It's something I'm quite used to because almost every time I do a mail video, at least in one letter, I can't read at all. So what just happened there, I'm used to that. So
I almost made that mistake here, but I angled the thing. I'm sure if you noticed, it's a little off because I was like, oh, I've got to move it, otherwise I won't be able to see it. So you're not alone in that. I also made the same mistake.
It's just happening again.
Yeah. So just from the bottom of my heart, Stormy, thank you for doing this panel with me. Thank you for being such a great host, and I hope we can do it again in the future.
Thank you for being such an awesome friend, Sean Day.
Y'all are gonna make me cry.
Okay, I've got more people to thank. If you're a volunteer, if you volunteered even a minute of your time, can you please stand up? Oh my God, so many of you are volunteers. Thank you so much. These people work, I mean, so many people work like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 hours. I don't know why you gave us so much of your time. Thank you so much.
Because we love the con.
No, we love you, Kaba.
We love you.
I don't know, a convention is just a group of people. Like, for me, it's just a group of people and we're just hanging out. We do it like in an organized way at a convention, but it's just people hanging out. And without people stepping up to try and make it happen, it's not gonna happen. There's too many people to thank. I do want to say, Tom and Shelley Moore, if y'all want to stand up, Tom's already standing over there, right over there. So, they were the housing team this year, so they were running around getting pictures and videos, and they got some really amazing stuff. I cannot wait to start getting this stuff posted out there, and it will be out there soon. Thank you both very much for your time. And
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. These two gentlemen over here, Metric and Stitch, if you would please stand up. Yeah, these are our dear friends from the Megaplex team. They're just fantastic. Like, we love them so much. They are our AV team. They are the best AV team in the world. So everything that's happened with the lighting, with this that you're listening to me talking into, and those up there, all that cool stuff, that was all them. That was, yes, that was normal. I wasn't possessed. They did all that. They did all that, and they're just fantastic. Thank you so much for everything you guys did. Cyber over here has been helping us helping us keep the con more secure, and working with Cobalt. Cobalt actually got sick and wasn't able to be here today. But Rune, with Cobalt being out today, we really had a very valuable team member that was missing from the team, and everybody really stepped up to we tried to recreate Cobalt in the aggregate, so to speak, and Rune here was on top of things all day long, handling any issue that came his way, and he was constantly all over the place. Thank you so much, because today would have been a disaster if you hadn't helped us.
It was the sugar.
The sugar. Am I forgetting anybody? I think of
Red Bull.
Oh, and I would like to thank the board, by the way, my board, for being so amazing. And I couldn't do this by myself. What do you want? I'm trying to thank you, and you're like, give me the microphone. Here, let's see what happens.
All right. Well, first, we also, Kami and Ro, can you stand up, please? Right. So these two, first, give them a big round of applause.
Tommy is just sucking in that attention. Oh, he loves it.
These two are the ones that brought to you the absolutely phenomenal game room that y'all have been enjoying this convention, and the first day I walked in and I felt my jaw drop. It was phenomenal, and they handled it so well. All the tournaments were so inactive. Engaging. There we go. I'm so tired. I know. It's the absolute opposite. They were not inactive. They were so engaging. They were very vibrant and just full of life, and it was fantastic. So thank you guys so much. Thank you. Stay standing though, because everyone, could y'all stand up too?
Everyone?
Everybody.
Everybody?
If you can.
All of us?
I know everyone's like,
Okay.
yeah. So last year I said something that had a bit of a hilarious reaction, and I'm wondering if I could do it again.
No, you can't.
But there's one person that really helped make this all happen. If it wasn't for his, leadership and encouragement and just being there for us when we needed his help and everything, this literally would not happen. So I'm gonna see if I can make him cry again this year. So everyone, please give a massive round of applause for Kappa.
We love you.
Not bad this time. Thank you all so much. Why did they have to stand for that?
Make it louder.
We wanted you to cry.
We're getting all these complaints that they were forced to stand by Shonda. We used to be part of the convention when Shonda was making us stand for some reason. I wasn't allowed to sit.
He's just too dehydrated to cry. And I've been trying for a while. It's just not working out. He's like, I swear there will be tears. I'm just gonna dry heave instead.
Cry heave? What?
So we're gonna talk about some other stuff now. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So season 2. So much to talk about. Before I do, I want to ask one thing, because we are a Florida-based convention. How is the weather? The heat?
Spicy.
Spicy?
Soupy?
Kind of, sort of?
Feels like home.
Succulent. It's exactly like home.
But it was nice inside.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
The climate control weather was good, right?
It was way too hot to go outside.
Whenever you stepped outside, stepping back inside is what made it really nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Going from outside to inside to the headless lounge.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Best part.
So, I know it's tough for shooting in hot weather, and it's not fun because it's just not. I almost wish that there was like a convention around here that was like in the winter time or something we could do. Would that be something that y'all might like?
Yes.
In the cold weather?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay, well, that's what we're going to be doing. So we're actually going to be moving our conventions, the month, to a January convention to make it nice and cold for everybody. So that way, fursuiting is going to be easier to do, and it's just going to be something different. Not next January, before you jump on. So we're going to be actually technically skipping a year. The next convention is actually going to be in January of 2020.
Oh.
And then it will stay in January moving forward from there. So, along with the story of, it's like season 1, basically, this is something Shonda really wanted really badly, because we're skipping a year, so Shonda really wanted Emerald to get into some kind of a time travel situation where he jumps to a year so far ahead that it's just the land of always winter.
The land of always winter.
So EFS season 2 is going to be, it's going to be in winter, it's going to be in January, it's going to be cold, it's going to be easier to fursuit. I know it's kind of weird that we're skipping a year, but I really think that I think it's going to be great once we get in there. We try different things all the time here, and I don't think that should ever change. So we're going to switch it up a little bit, and if it works and everyone likes it, then we're going to keep it there. So we have that to look forward to. Just a couple extra months to wait, but it's going to be worth it. Would you like this? How badly do you want this?
Big
I
four.
can tell.
Okay, real quick, something Stormy mentioned. Since he cannot see that, I showed him on my phone. He said that picture is adorable. Yes, it is. So I know she's not here, but I really wanted to send a thank you out to Creative Crystal, who did every last bit of art for this convention. All the official con art, everything you see on the badges, on the posters, even this right here, she did this. That was all her. And Cabot, she's like your absolute favorite artist, isn't she?
She's quickly becoming like my ex. Like it's like she knows like how I'm seeing the thing that I want the thing to look like. Yeah, she's fantastic, and she's very easy to work with. Just all around fantastic. A lot of my other art, like in other projects that I do, like my YouTube thingamajig, it's all Crystal, Creative Crystal. She's creative and Crystal. There it is.
So yeah, so she just all the artists. It all just blows us away every time we see something new from her. Like it's fantastic. So even though she's not here, thank you so much to Creative Crystal for all of her artistic talent for this convention.
My personal goal is that I want to have closing ceremonies last no longer than 30 minutes. Nothing is more boring than watching a bunch of people sit in front of a row with lots of people and listen to them talk and drone on. So with that, I just want to say thank you for an amazing summit, and I cannot wait to see you all next time. Well, now I'm gonna be a hypocrite. Does anyone have any questions? That's just Pandora's box right there. I'm sorry.
What were the dates?
So we're trying to figure that out right now. We thought we were going to be on specific dates, but that was because we were intending to return to Homewood Suites. With our attendance difference, we're looking at possibly going to a larger venue for the next convention. So we're still reviewing it. We'll have the dates soon, hopefully, for you.
Because I was going to say my birthday is February 1st, so it would be great.
Back to the birthday again.
Yeah, you know what? On that note, we were gonna have this convention next weekend on my birthday. And Cap was like, "No, you can't do this. No, it's for you."
Oh, my
Giant
birthday's
middle
next
finger.
weekend. So.
We want to thank you guys.
Speaking of Homewood Suites, let's have a loud round of applause for them so the staff can hear it all, because they've been so gracious in hosting us the past 2 years.
Thank you, Homewood Suites.
Thank you, Homewood Suites.
Thank you.
I saw a staffer running around the field. I don't know.
Yeah, literally, one of our attendees was one of the employees from the hotel.
Okay, I was wondering if we actually just turned one, because I definitely saw a staffer around the field. I was like, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I should have done? I didn't think about this until now. We're going to do it next year. The last slide is going to be the scrolling credits at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I should have thought of that. Okay, y'all are good to go. Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.